Learn to be super successful. Subscribe to my channel, Meathead. I have a Zoom call, so I talked to him. And he says, the CFO emailed me. He said that he was going to abstain from voting. He couldn't vote for it, and he didn't want to vote against it because he didn't want to vote against me and the you. And he said, but you made the right decision. We shouldn't. You got bullied into this deal. Okay? You're supposed to be the bullies. Whatever the opposite of bully, okay? And he got bullied into the deal. And I saw the material the day before, 2 days before the meeting. I said, we're not doing this shit. Huh? Everything. It should have been 100% seller finance. For starters, the seller was on his knees, bleeding out. I'm not, if you're a fucking Mike Tyson at his prime, I'm not interested in his fucking opinion. And I'm certainly not interested in the opinion of some cocksucker who's dying. He may not live to the closing. When I'm there, the motherfucker's closing, one way or the other. So I canceled the meeting. And of course now all the board members are telling you, oh, gee, that's a great, I wasn't looking forward to the debate. Well, there are no debates in my board meetings. I don't give a fuck what you think. You saw me at your board meeting. I basically told them, what the fuck are we doing here? All you guys add no fucking value. More or less. I'm not, judicious with the truth, as Winston Churchill used to say. And I do exaggerate. There's no question about that. But how's your program working out? Not exaggerating. Simon, your brother, has got just almost the right amount of he's full of shit. He can get a little more full of shit. And you both told me he's more aggressive. That's good. Maybe he's trying to be, I don't know what he was trying to be. But that's good. The more aggressive he gets, like I tease the Goomba brothers. Well, you're not in jail. And I'm not saying that anything they did was not legal or whatever, but they pushed the envelope. As they used to say in the old days, they pushed the envelope. Who's my 5:30? 6:30. No, no, I take it back. Give me the two handouts, the green and the orange. The one handout you're getting right now is a quality of earnings report from a big accounting firm on a Southern Florida healthcare deal, substance abuse roll-up. It's the second to the last one of quality of earnings. They're doing the due diligence. And when I ask the accounting firms to do due diligence, I tell them if there's an amber flag, a yellow flag, or whatever, I want to know right away. Normally, they wait till 2 weeks before they close the quasi-audit, and then they tell you all the bad news. But by that time, it's normally too late. Sometimes you can fix the bad news. So this is the second to the last quality of earnings, the one with the green stripe. The other sheet, and I've been corrected by one of you, maybe somebody in the seminar, we came up with this sheet, or you came up with this sheet during a hardcore seminar 2 or 3 hardcores ago. And he reminded me that the kids in the hardcore didn't come up with those spreads. They enlisted other websites to come up with the information. So to correct myself, information is still accurate. And what that other sheet that has the orange lines on it shows is the average spreads in industry spreads. You want to go in this industry, what kind of EBITDA spreads can you expect to sell for? It's a couple years old. It's still pretty accurate. So you want the auditors, the KPMGs, the whoever, PwCs, to tell you as soon as there's a red flag or not, you don't want to wait for a red flag. If there's anything that doesn't look right, I want to know right away. And the person that they're going to be relating this information back to is the CFO and the CEO and the in-house accountant. Then you. Because you can occasionally save, a blue baby before it's dead. Occasionally. If your board is as experienced as it should be. Now, I've saved deals that rigor mortis has set in. The body's already decaying from rot. Because I can blow life back into motherfuckers when they've gone beyond. Now, not a story, but a true story. I was down 6-7 years ago. I was I went to Dave Asprey's biohack conference. I was interviewed there. Okay. And while I was there, I visited Hall of Famer and his wife, and she had just recently, 6 or 7 weeks before, at her son's, what's the kind of dinner you have before you get married? Whatever the dinner before you get married, the night before they got married. Okay. And she had fallen dead in the dessert. Boom. Mary had fallen dead. And there was 3 doctors there, and they tried to revive her. They broke ribs and all this shit they had. They jolted her. She's dead. 20 minutes later, the paramedics come. And everybody's weeping. I wasn't there, but anyway, everybody's weeping apparently. And so they put her in the ambulance. They're taken away. Okay. There was a senior guy in the paramedics ambulance, and there's a junior guy. The senior guy was driving. And the junior guy said to the boss, "Boss, do you think, can I have a go at her?" Now, having a go at her in this country means, can I fuck her? Can I have a go at her? He meant he wanted to, because he had never done the defibrillators, and we have them all around here. So in case, I'm not going to do it, but we have people trained to do that. And I would recommend the doctor doesn't do it because they're going to sue you for malpractice. But anyway, so the guy said yes. So he jolts her. On the 3rd jolt, she sat up. Now she's been dead 45 minutes. She's got to have brain damage, right? Wrong. Now, Mary, with the greatest, you've always been a little brain damage anyway. I've known you a long fucking time. But anyway, because she watches this thing once in a while. And and they did something, I don't know what they were replaced. And so when I went to visit her from the biohacking thing at Dave Asprey's, which for those of you that are interested in that kind of thing, he puts on a pretty good show. I don't mean it in a negative way. So we went over to her house, and we're sitting in the kitchen. And she shows me the big scar. And then I said, "You know what I'm going to ask you, don't you, Mary?" I didn't see any light. Well, I didn't think you'd see any light because you're going straight to fucking hell. You know how they say they saw light and did it? Okay. But she says, one of the things that you say, Dan, that is absolutely 100% true, or spot on, like the Goomba brothers would say, is every regret in my entire life, from the womb till I fell dead at my son's party, flashed before my eyes. Every regret flashed before my eyes. And she's got a ton of them. And then I woke up. One, I knew she's going to hell. So if there is a hell and a heaven, she wouldn't see any fucking light. And 2, I've always known when I give eulogies, I'm a world-class eulogy giver. And I normally say you're going to die, your wife and father and have asked me to give the eulogies. So I come visit you, try to visit you before you die. And, you're in bed and you look all terrible. And I ask, what would you like me to, what's the message you want me to send? Okay, or give to the eulogy. And it's always, 100% of the time, the things you didn't do. Just like Tony alluded to, you're dying of cancer, you got 6 months to live, it's the things you didn't do. The regrets you have are the things you didn't do. And I've given 19 eulogies in the last several years, and every single time, the same thing. Now, I'm giving your eulogy. Now, we don't do this anymore. We used to ask you to write your eulogy as part of the homework. We don't do that anymore. Most of you can't get through it without crying. So we don't do that anymore. But the things you don't do or didn't do. And so Mary changed her life around. She says, I'm having a second chance. And I said, but you got so many sins on your fucking body. It's hard for me to believe that you can turn it. Because I tell you the truth. It's like the eulogy I gave not too long ago for one of my best friend's wife, who she was a witch and a half. Things you didn't do. And so now, the rest of my life, as long as it's going to be, because I know it's going to be a long time, I'm going back and correcting some of the things that I would have done differently now that I'm in my 70s than I did when I was in my 20s. Any questions about anything? Tonight, we're eating in the pub. And you'll see how, you're going to be like you're at a 10-year-old birthday party. You're going to be so fucking happy. You don't know whether to shit or go blind because it's in your comfort zone of poverty. No matter how much I berate you about it, you can't help yourself. It's going to sound like a sorority party in there tonight or fraternity party because you can't help yourself because you're back in your little comfort zones of poverty. Just notice, I'll remind you at least twice. Hey! You didn't say a fucking word during the seminar, now you can't keep your motherfucking mouth shut. Okay, kids, we'll see you. I'll see you at 5:30 in a few minutes. Thank you.